Small Talk with Kenya and Dawn. I'm Dawn.
And I'm Kenya.
So we're back here with part two. We discussed last week about how we parent our adult children. So we're back here again, like I said, with part two. Oh goodness, where I wanted to pick up was when you have an adult child still living at home, right? Working, going to school, productive, right? How do you still parent that adult child that is doing things that what they're supposed to be doing, but how do you parent that when you even see that they are being very responsible? What's your reaction to that?
I really appreciate it because we're in the middle of that now.
Okay.
Because our son is still in school, but he works a full-time job. He's made it work, but he still has responsibilities, and a lot of people not going to agree with this part.
Okay.
But all of our kids, when they turn 16, we bought them a car. We pay the car insurance, but they're going to get a job and buy their own gas.
Right.
When they get 18, I think my son was 18. Anyway, they're going to get a bill to pay. We always give them the smallest bill, which is the water bill. And I know a lot of younger people now that live at home with their parents, they don't know what that is. But because our son is still in school, we still pay his car insurance and we still pay his cell phone bill. But that is just something that we wanted to do because it was something that wasn't given to us. So we know what he's doing, so we didn't want to just give him full-blown responsibilities, but we knew that he still needed to understand what it was like to pay bills. So we gave him that small bill. So that has been with all of our kids. Now the 16-year-old, she hadn't got one yet because she's not at the age. She buying her own gas.
Don't mess with my girl. That's my baby.
She doing that. But I just think kids have to understand, because I hear a lot of people, a lot of young people, that think that they supposed to just live in their parents' house until they get whatever age with no responsibility, and they kind of take on what mommy and daddy have and say, oh yeah, I'm good because I live in my house this and my house that. I'm like this. Growing up, I saw my grandparents taking care of grown people, good grown, I'm saying 40, 50-year-old people. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I love my kids, but I want to break from my kids. We have a cutoff point over there.
Okay.
We just not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I think that having responsibility is a good thing. We didn't do that.
Okay.
And we should have done that.
Okay.
And I think my husband is girls.
Yeah. That's what it is.
It was girls.
Yeah.
And as hard as he was supposed to be, and he was like, yeah, do this. He kind of folded on some things.
I get it.
But it was, and that's just the way that he was. And I don't know why he did that.
Exactly what
I
you
just
said.
think it was
because
just
my
girls.
husband was the same way.
Yeah.
I remember when we were paying car insurance for our oldest daughter, and senior skip day, I'll never forget this. She had a car accident, totaled the car. I think, and this was, almost 20 years ago. No, not 20, about 15 years ago. Yeah, I made it a little bit older.
Yeah, you did.
About 14, 15 years ago. And I remember after that accident, we were paying $500 a month for car insurance. And I remember we used to always tell her, you better not be where you're not supposed to. You done made it. We was just going on and on and on. And of course, she was always somewhere she ain't supposed to be. So even then, making her get a job, I think after a couple of times that she got caught not being where she was supposed to, I think we started making her pay some of her car insurance.
Yeah.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Because kids have to understand at an early age responsibility.
Right.
Because if not, and again, I'm going to say, I have seen grown people, you got 40, 50, 60-year-old people still living in their mama's house. I'm not doing
you know what? Now that ought to be against the law.
Yeah.
Because when you are able-bodied,
Able-bodied.
you working
Yep.
and you making more than what your parent,
Probably your parents.
is making,
Mhm.
especially ones that are retired,
Yeah.
because you don't want to come up off of some rent money.
And it's different if you have a sick parent and you're standing there to do that.
It's exceptions to things.
Absolutely.
But because
Just to do
you,
it?
yeah,
Nah.
no. Now, if your parent needs help,
That's different.
that's different. And you say, okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna move in and I'll help with this and this. You know, it's kind of benefiting, you know, more the parent than what it is you.
Right.
But at that point in time, oh no, no.
Yeah. And I've seen so much of that. That was one of the things that, well, my husband and I both saw those things, and we were just adamant about that. We were like, no, we're not doing that. You know, we're gonna raise our kids.
Yeah.
But we deserve a break from them too.
Yeah. It comes. I mean, we're empty nesters, and it is. It's nice. We love it over here. It's nice when the family is home. The boys, the littles, oh my goodness, you can tell it's so much chaos in here, but it's good chaos, and we just enjoy everybody being here.
Yeah.
But when they're gone,
Yeah.
then it's kind of, you know, quiet and it's back down again, and you know we love it. We love being empty nesters, and I love, what I really love is being able to go and visit, you know, our kids, and what I really like to see is how well that they're doing.
Absolutely.
I love to see that they are self-sufficient and they're independent, but they still rely on us for advice.
Yeah.
And they still rely on, they love our opinions about things. They may not always take our opinions about stuff, but they're at least willing to consider what we have to say. And even in those moments where we can see if something is, you know, kind of off, or, you know, like, oh, I don't know if you should, you know, do that or not. But you still are parenting in that adulthood, but it's a different kind of parenting now, to where you're more, you know, you're giving your advice and it's not just a dictatorship of where go take out that trash, or, you know, it's something, hey, you might want to consider this. Your language changes.
Oh yeah.
Your communication with your kids changed during that time period. Has that been your experience as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've learned to manage my emotions a little bit better, because they used to just come out. But I've learned now that all I can do is give an opinion on what I think should happen. But at the end of the day, it's their decision. And I've learned I've had to respect it and just be there for them when they need to be picked up off the floor again.
Yeah. Okay, so let's turn, because this is what I was thinking about also, is cycles of behavior. From things that you experienced as a child, into adulthood, into parenthood, and now adult children. That was a lot. That's a big cycle. Yeah. That's a big cycle. Some things as a child that I moved into adulthood and then became a parent, and now just parenting with them. I'll say one thing that hasn't changed is being protective.
I don't think that ever leaves. Yeah.
That's something that has not changed for me.
Yeah.
I will, as long as I can, I will always be that. I can probably guarantee you that I will always be a very protective mother with my children. And some people don't understand that sometimes, but I'll have to say this: I was a mother before I was a wife. We both were mothers before we were wives, and you just can't say anything to one of my kids.
I say this often, and I said it recently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes money make people crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about it.
Mm-hmm.
My kids and my husband,
Mm-hmm. Off limits.
Yeah, don't.
That's off limits.
No, because what you said, protective,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna do that. I'm
Mhm.
gonna protect them.
Mhm.
I don't care about your feelings. I
Mhm.
don't care what you thought you should. I just get it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't think I could. And like you said, we were parents before we were wives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is gonna be until we die.
Yeah.
And even then, my memory is gonna be in the back of their minds, and I know that because. Even now, my oldest daughter called me and she'll say, "Well, Mom, I was getting ready to do something. All I heard was Kenya Turner in the back of my mind, and I didn't do it." And I was like, "Thank you, Lord." And
Okay.
she's like, "Don't be cute."
Oh yeah, be cute.
But yeah, oh man, I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just carrying things because I just know that I wanted to be protected, as we all have wanted to be protected, and I wanted to add 2 or 3 extra layers onto my protection for my children, because I never wanted to see them hurt for anything, and I really didn't want to see anybody hurt them.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Yeah. And that's a lot of things that shaped us into being parents, I think. Those things that we wanted or craved as children, we definitely put it on thick for our children.
Yeah.
Well, let me say most people. I don't know if everybody does that, but
no.
Yeah. But most
a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They just kind of leave kids out there to fend for themselves and be like, "Oh, well, you grown.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have did this."
Yeah.
But even one thing that I have to say is, we may not agree with everything that our children do, but we've got to still support them in certain ways with things. I'm not saying support wrongdoing,
Right.
but what I'm saying is support them in a way to say, even though you're wrong, I still love you. Kids need to know that no matter what the age is, they still need to know my parents still love me. My mom still loves me. My dad still loves me. They may not agree with what I'm doing, but I think that's another way that we parent in adulthood, is just to say, I still have unconditional love for me. Even though you may be messing up, it's still not going to stop me from loving you. If anything, it's going to make me pray harder for you.
Right.
Because I want to see you win.
Yeah.
I want to see you succeed. I think that's probably one of the best ways that we can parent adult children.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Going in prayer, because sometimes my words, one ear, not the other. And when that thing starts to come to pass, and you sitting over there looking just like that, that's what I pray for. I don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was another one of the hardest things I had to do. Because again, I wanted to lead with emotions, and I couldn't do that because I'm like, she grown. I can't, she married and in her own house. I can't really tell her what to do. But yeah, understanding that. Now that really made me think about my grandparents, because I know I probably gave them a run money. Yeah, but I know they were praying for me. So yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the other thing too that I've learned in parenting older or adult children is I have to remember the mistakes that I made.
There you go. Yeah. A lot of times I've seen parents have forgotten. You've gotten selective amnesia about the things that you used to do.
Yep.
And then it's like almost completely unexplainable. Like, where in the world did my child get this from? Do you not remember who you were?
Yep.
You don't remember who you were? Because I remember who you were. I remember who I was.
Yep.
And when you think about stuff like that, you're saying, "Oh, okay, let me give you some of that grace. Let me scoop some of that grace on your plate that somebody scooped on mine."
Yes. For so long.
Yeah.
So many times for the same thing.
Yeah.
It's hard. But that's the one thing that always keeps me grounded. I'm like, dang, I wonder how they felt when I did this. So let me just kind of let me back up a little.
Yeah, they probably didn't feel so good.
No,
Cause I know
because
mine.
I didn't.
I know my mom didn't feel good about stuff that I was doing. But
Yeah,
we're
we just
human.
have to
We make
remember.
mistakes.
Yeah,
and we
were
gotta
not
remember,
perfect.
no, we were not perfect, and we're still not perfect.
Still not. Yeah.
No, we're still learning through things.
Mhm. Yeah. Even learning how to parent adult children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even if there was a book, I don't think I would read it
Mm-mm.
because every situation is different, and not only that, but each child is different.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I know your daughter and your son, and then your baby daughter. They're three completely different people. And you, even though the punishments may have been along the same lines, but the way that also maybe you approach things was different towards each child because everybody's not receptive to the same thing.
Right.
And that's also parenting through with adult children now. It's you got to know how to be able to still talk to them and something that they'll be able to receive.
Yeah.
And hopefully do better.
Yeah. Sometimes they require you to do better.
Yeah.
Because, just because, again, I'm wearing that title of mom,
Yeah.
I can't be reckless.
No.
Because, you can't talk to me like that.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't talk to you like that. And that'd be the burn. I wouldn't talk to you like that.
Exactly. Exactly. I would not talk to you like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've probably said it here, but because I say it all the time. But I made a decision in July of 2018 that I wouldn't argue with anybody anymore. And that includes my children. Now, I've slipped. I slipped a handful of times to where I was really pushed and raised my voice. And then when I realized it and I said, oh no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like second nature to me. It's almost like second nature to me.
Gotta keep it down.
Keep it right there. Knock on wood. But yeah, it's so much easier to me now because it's like I've trained myself to do that. And I also think that it's helped my relationship with my children, with my adult children, to where I'm not arguing with them and fussing with them and, going back and forth and stuff like that. And honestly, I think it's given me better results than when they were kids.
I was going to say that. Actually, I've seen that. When I have just taken my hand off of it and say, you know what, that's got to be all them. And just walk away. I'm going to pray about it and I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah.
Now, it was hard to learn to do that.
Right.
But I have seen better results because now, instead of me trying to tell you, don't do this, there's a consequence. You hitting a consequence and coming to talk to me so you can talk through the consequence. Yeah. So, and that ball learning is way better.
Oh, goodness. I'm telling you, my grandmother used to say it. Bought sense is better than borrowed. I did not understand it back then, but trust me, I got a good grip on it now. I know exactly what she was talking about when she said that, and I hope that helps somebody else as well. Bought sense is better than borrowed.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Promise you won't forget.
Okay, you definitely will not forget. What other tips do you have for parenting adult children?
I think listen more and talk less.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I think listen more. Be open to understand. Yeah. And not just listen to be able to give a response right back. Because sometimes our kids don't require a response. Sometimes they just require for us to listen to them. Yeah. And give them the grace, like we talked about before. Give them the grace that somebody gave you, or give them the grace that somebody didn't give to you.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. Didn't give,
yeah. Give them that. Love your children through things. Yeah. Don't just put them out to dry because they're at a certain age. Yeah. Let your kids feel how you feel about them. Show them empathy. Show them some compassion. And let your kids know that as long as you have breath in your body, that you're there for them and that you will continue to advise them along the way if it's required to do so. That would be my advice.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
The only thing that just came to mind was in the same manner that we always say, let children be children,
Mm-hmm.
we need to let young adults be young adults.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes we go from holding that rein from the early years to
Mhm.
holding on just as tight.
Mhm.
And once they get out there, they're just breaking free and going
Mhm.
wild.
Mhm.
I think going back to grace and what we've done, remember
Mhm.
your life,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
remember your limitations.
Yeah.
Allow them to be young adults.
You know, and just saying that, what popped in my mind was sometimes it's okay to fall.
Mm-hmm.
We can't save them from everything. And if you don't know what failure looks like, how are you going to know how to fix things
Mm-hmm.
to be successful?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let them fail a couple times.
Yes, it's necessary. In the
Yeah.
same manner, when the little baby starts to walk,
Mm-hmm.
they gotta fall down a couple of times
Yeah.
in order to figure out how to get the balance.
Yep.
And if you just catching them every time, they're
Mhm.
never gonna figure it out.
You won't figure it out.
Yeah.
And those kids are always going to be dependent on the parent.
Ooh, yes, that part.
I think that's a great way
Mm-hmm.
that we parent our adult children.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because I think that turns into that habit of that 40, 50-year-old
Mm-hmm.
still at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Give them the independence.
Mm-hmm.
Take
Real
your hand.
independence.
Real
yeah.
independence.
Yeah.
Take your hand off of the situation sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids, what did you say before? You said your children told you, we don't need you as much you think we do.
Ooh, yes. That was a good point.
That was a lot.
It's like, Mom, that's all you. We don't need you as much as you think we need.
Yeah. Well, I'm still mama.
I'm still mama, but guess what? This mama is a little bit more free.
Okay.
Because in my mind, I felt that was good parenting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it was good parenting.
Yeah.
But
It
what
was
you,
stressful parenting.
it was. I know it was. But what your kids let you know was, you know what? You're raising us right.
That's the second.
Mhm.
Yeah. Once I got past my little feelings, they hurt and
Mhm.
stuff, and I was like, well, they're only able to do that because of what you did.
Exactly.
So embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know it felt good. I know it felt good.
It felt real good.
Yeah, it may have stung a little bit in the beginning, but I know it feels good now.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap this up for this week. Please go to our website, jordanchristiancenter.com, and see the other things that we have going on, the other talks and the other Bible studies that we have, the Sunday school lessons that are being taught by Pastor Hairston and also Minister Butts. Please, please, please like this video. Give us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you know when Small Talk with Kenya and Dawn premieres, which is every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. So until then, have a great day.